Welcome to Flashpoint, live manifesting the moment of your big breakthrough. It is June 3rd. My name's Austin. If you're joining us for the first time, I want to welcome you in. We have an incredible show for you today, one that is sure to be part of our highlight reel at some point. But Mandy, I want to welcome you in. You're coming off an amazing day. We're going to hear about that. So welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. How are you?
I'm feeling so good today. The weather's changing. It's getting warm. And more importantly, we have two special guests that are going to be joining us today.
Aren't we honored?
Very excited about that. So we're going to jump into the show. And the best way to help us is to like, share. And this television show is going out to Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, Fire, all over the internet platform. So we're excited that the growth continues to happen. But more importantly, this is about you. So if you're the listener and you're jumping on this, whether you're with us every week, whether you're on for the first time, we want you to take away something today. Maybe there's a word, a share, maybe the person that you're going to see today, the special guest, is going to maybe resonate with you in a way that you hadn't thought about before, and maybe something new opens up for you today. That's what this is about. It's about your journey, and we want to continue to bring valuable content, insights, and information. Mandy, are you ready to help me kick off the show?
I absolutely am. It's always exciting. It's always a pleasure to be here, and it's always great to see everybody that joins us. And as you said, to be able to impart something that's going to be beneficial to them, might be a little bit of insight, whatever it is, that's what we're here to do. So why don't we kick off with our little routine, which is we start with the hourglass. The hourglass, Mandy's favorite. See if we can get it right this week. So I was doing a little bit of thinking about the hourglass. Future, present, past, right? Future's in the top, present's in the middle, past is in the bottom there. And first of all, we go to the present moment, which is right in the middle, which is right where we are in this present moment. We don't have a second in front of us. We don't have a second behind us. We're right in the present moment. How do we get to the present moment? Well, it's affected by the future and the past, because the future becomes the present as it falls through the hourglass. It becomes the present. And then from the present moment, it falls into the bottom and becomes the past. So once we look at the past, we've got a legacy. We can leave our legacy there. It's what we've created, who we are, how we've lived our life, the lessons we've learned, and what we're bringing forward into the present moment. And with all that knowledge behind us and our life's lessons, shall we say, and we're here in this present moment, then we have an opportunity to affect our future, right? Which we cannot do because it's ahead of us and the past is behind us. But what we're bringing from the past, we can bring into the present and affect our future. That's the way I'm looking at it today.
Yeah, beautiful. It's it's such a simple thing, but every time we share it, there's something new.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking about, Mandy, with this is that if you think about it, this sand is constantly unfolding, just like life.
Right. Yes.
And sometimes we observe the sand and we don't know how the sand is going to land at the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. But what's great about being a human, and if you're listening to this, we trust you're a human, as we're humans. Put a yes if you're a human being, right? Not a human doing, but a human being. So if you're a human being, type in yes.
Yes.
But what's great about it is that we can intentionalize, if that's a word. Mandy can help me out with that.
Yes, intentional. We can become intentional. Yeah.
Be intentional about this and kind of, we can't stop it, but we can maybe tweak it, guide it, direct it to a said outcome. And I love this. We're going to hear from Dr. Andrea today, the dream maker, publicist, sponsorship acquisitionist. I know she's going to have a lot to share about this as we get into the
awesome show. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. So good reflection there on the hourglass. We can always affect the present moment by from the past and going into the future. So the next thing we do to highlight aha moments, as I like to call them, light bulb moments. Let's get into the Edison light bulb. Edison light bulb. You were going to highlight that, right?
Yes, I'm going to do. So this light bulb I purchased this in Menlo Park, New Jersey, at the very site that Thomas Edison landed upon this iteration of the light bulb that was preceded by, Mandy?
10,000 different ways of failing to success.
Failing to success. Let this be a reminder for you today. As Edison said, I did not fail 10,000 times. I successfully created 10,000 ways in which the light bulb could not be achieved.
So there's always options. We're never short of options. And we just don't know that at that last moment, we're perhaps thinking of giving up and, oh, it's not going to work. I've done this so many times. But that next step that we take could just be that turnover, that breakthrough into the success that we seek in life.
Yeah. And the key, he didn't feel like a failure.
No, he didn't. He succeeded in 10,000 different ways.
Right.
Right.
So forget what society tells you it should be. Keep doing it. And this iteration was in existence for 100 years.
There you go. So there's a way, again, with the light bulb, there is a way to light up our life, We just have to keep going until it happens. Never give up, never quit. Don't make that the only option. Yeah.
So good.
So now we get into the final one. The other aha, they're both ahas to me. That's why I sometimes muddle them up. But anyway, the cowbell. Yay, Mama Mo's on. Hi, Mama Mo. The cowbell, right? So anything that you hear, anything that you see, anything that comes to your mind that you feel is inspiring you or you want to share with us, something you've noted on the show, pop it in the chat room. Just write cowbell. And let us know that you've had this fantastic moment with us on the show. We love to hear other people's moments, precious moments, and engagement.
Yeah, you're a part of the show. You're listening. You're a part of the show.
That's right.
We provide the space, and we got some comments in here.
Jenna
already. Happy Friday. Okay, Mandy. Before we get into our guests,
yes,
you had a special day yesterday. I would love for you to take a few minutes. If you are on here, you are going to be blessed by something that of amazing significance in history. Amazing significance, Mandy.
I'm still reeling from yesterday. I kid you not. I have personal connection to the palace through my grandfather. He used to be head chef in Buckingham Palace, and he actually held our current queen when she was 6 weeks old, and they took a photograph of them outside the palace there. He was 19. That was in 1908. My grandfather was 1908 when Queen Elizabeth was 6 weeks old. Sorry?
Your grandfather held the queen?
Yes. He started off in Buckingham Palace as a footman at the age of 18. And at the age of 19, he was footman outside the palace when the carriage pulled up with the Queen Mother, who got the 6-week-old baby princess in her arms. So when he opened the door, she handed him the baby, which is our current queen at 6 weeks of age. And there was a photograph taken of him, which anyway, so I have connections. And then I found myself in this role January the 1st, 2015, as an ambassadorial town crier for my hometown of Coburg. And this is actually a royally appointed position. We are under the English law of the reigning monarch, and the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, only the second person in history, in the British history, of that name on the royal throne. She appoints the town criers through the Commonwealth, Canada, etc. And whenever we're called upon to act on her behalf, then that's what we do. Now, we do that on a small scale here in our towns and communities. But yesterday, oh my gosh, the emotion, the joy, the love, the pride, the honor, the privilege was just oozing from every town crier. It started in Brisbane, Australia, I believe it did, at 2 p.m. their time, and then bit by bit, as it went through every country across the globe, Each town crier would ring, make the proclamation. Now, this was a proclamation that was kept under lock and key. We were not allowed to expose it to anybody until 2 p.m. our time. And I had the great privilege of going into Victoria Hall, which is our seat of government here. They had it all prepared for me. We operated out of the Old Bailey courtroom, which also has its own individual history. And Victoria Hall was dedicated to Queen Victoria as a birthday present by the then future King Edward VII. And that's how it became our seat of government. Originally, it was supposed to be the capital of Canada, but because of its vulnerability on the lakeshore, it ended up being in Ottawa, and we're left with this beautiful ballroom, Victoria Hall. So I made my declaration from there. It was received well. The Queen has been on the English throne for 70 years. So she was celebrating her platinum jubilee. And we're all hoping she's going to make it to her oak jubilee. So that will be 80 years on the throne. We're hoping.
Wow.
So the celebration started last week, and then yesterday the whole of the UK shut down for 4 days. There are 4 days of celebrations for the Queen, started yesterday at 2 p.m. And here in my community, I was just swept off my feet, absolutely swept off my feet with the videography, the photography. The people that I didn't even know had seen or heard or anything were coming back to me and saying it was absolutely amazing, powerful, wonderful. So the fact that I've created history once again, when I was made the first female town crier, July 1st, 2015, I made history. And in this town, even if I passed away or my role was relinquished for whatever reason, the history that was created yesterday will never, ever be repeated. And that is true for every town crier across the globe. It was an incredibly powerful, moving tribute and noble honor to make this proclamation in tribute to the Queen.
We'd love to see a video. Maybe we can share that next week if you have it.
It's coming.
It's coming. Okay, great. So that's a cowbell moment. We want to see that video.
I got a glimpse last night, and the tears were just strolling down my face. I could not. I had no idea how it was going to turn out, and they sent me the Vision 1, and it's going to be powerful.
It's something that is going to be significant for centuries.
Well, that's the other part, right? Everything we're doing as a town crier yesterday, our names have gone in a book of honor. So all the town criers are on a book of or in there on the roll honors list. So I'm actually already in that book, and then the photographs are going to be added. I think it's a 140-page book that Buckingham Palace has made. And we've all been under the pageant master from Buckingham Palace through our directions and communication. And so that book will stay in Buckingham Palace, and people coming and going will see that for centuries to come. It's huge, Austin. It's huge. And what a humbled blessing it's been in my life.
So stay tuned for more as this unfolds, because it just happened yesterday, but we hope to have something for you next week on this. The Queen, amazing, Mandy, and you're right there, a part of it. So
thank
God
you.
Bless you. They say God bless the Queen, right? All right. So
there's many, but it was God Save the Queen on the proclamation. I'm actually looking at the proclamation. I can't take my eyes off it.
God save Mandy Robinson. How about that? So
bless you for saying that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So let's move on. We have a special
let's bring in our special guest.
Yeah, we have a special guest right now, and I had the opportunity to meet this woman in Philadelphia. Unbelievable energy, smile, radiant, and talk to me about this thing called the Keep Smiling movement. I said, what is this? I took a couple photos. She stayed in touch with me, and we talked this week. I said, you need to be on the show. So I'm talking about Dr. Andrea Adams-Miller. She's known as the Dream Maker. She's an international award-winning author, international publicist. So for those of you that are trying to get exposure, she's a business consultant. I love this, a sponsorship acquisitionist who manifests your dreams bigger than you ever dare dream possible. So let's, without me wasting any more time, let's help me welcome, lots of hearts, lots of love shares, Dr. Andrea Adams-Miller.
Yay!
Look, I came in
Welcome.
like the Wizard of Oz. Look, big head. Back a little.
Take your time. This is like automatically formats. We constantly navigate the
I
tech,
know.
but
Every time I'm on StreamYard, I never can judge how far away to be so that I am not too big. So now I'm super far away from my computer.
you look great. You look radiant,
Yes,
and we're
beautiful.
honored and blessed to have you here today. I always like to check in and just say, how are you doing? Like, how you feeling today? What's going on?
Well, I'm absolutely excited and happy. It's a beautiful day here. I live in Findlay, Ohio, a small rural community in Northwest Ohio, and I love being home and I love traveling the world. So I'm on a off break right now where I've been home for a week and was traveling 2 weeks before that, and I'll be leaving for another week. But when I'm home, especially in the summer, we have access to an in-ground pool at my father-in-law's. So I love the summer because I get to spend it in the pool with the grandkids.
Okay, so do we all get invitations?
The more the merrier. I love the
I'll
pool.
hold you to it. I'll hold you to it.
I'm the kind of person, like, if I invite you, you are so welcome anytime. I have 2 guests at my house right now.
Wow.
Okay.
See?
Well, we can make room for a couple more.
There we go.
Always.
Namaste. Welcome.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Welcome. Yeah, absolutely. And I failed to mention that you have 2 PhD. You just have such great energy and kind of get it done mentality, and let's expand, let's do it, let's open up, let's create a movement, which you did. But before we get into the movement, I always want people to learn a little bit more about you, how you got here, because I always know that there's so many things that happen in our lives, that these decisions that help us get to where we are. So the fact that you and I are on here with Mandy today, I'd love for you to share whatever's coming through as far as your
Thank you so much for offering. Yeah, I would say for me, what led me to be where I'm at today is I'm actually at my mom's today. She has better Wi-Fi connection, so I came over here, and so this is the house where I grew up in, and I grew up as an only child, and it was very lonely, and I often felt like I didn't have a voice, I couldn't be heard, like, what I had to say wasn't important. And so what a beautiful world that now, here I'm 53 now, that, I've spent my entire adult life being an international speaker, which I started speaking internationally when I was 16. And, I get paid to speak now. So here I grew up feeling like what I had to say, nobody wanted to hear, or nobody wanted to think that my voice was valuable, to now knowing that I know my worth, and I know that other people find what I have to say worthy. And there's so many people who need that platform to have their voice shared. And so that's really led to be my career is helping other people be heard and seen so that they show up bigger in the world than they ever dared possible.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Mandy, I'm going to let you reflect on that one. That's a powerful.
It's very powerful, and actually, I'm quite relating to you. My public speaking career didn't start till about 17 years ago. I was in a women's shelter, and I found an organization called Toastmasters, worked my way all the way up, became a distinguished Toastmaster. I too am a professional speaker, inspirational speaker. And I just love the fact that you said, I know my worth. Ring that cowbell, Austin J. Haynes. Ring that cowbell. Powerful energy, because oftentimes, what's the opposite to that? What's the opposite that people don't feel?
Well, and I've had times in my life where I didn't feel worthy.
Exactly.
Where I was attracted to people who maybe at first talked to me in such a way that made me think that I was so amazing. And then when they were done utilizing the skills and services I had, then they didn't treat me so worthy anymore. And I actually felt very small and very weak.
Yes.
And so being able to stay in that position of power and to be able to stand strong has been a roller coaster ride to learn. And a lot of it I've done for myself, but a lot of it was people that saw me that I didn't know saw me, and what helped me overcome. And I'm trained in NLP and hypnosis and 11 other healing modalities besides those. And now I hang around people who also believe in other modalities like that, and we use them on each other, because every day there's always, when you were doing the stand, with the
hourglass.
It reminded me of a poem that Austin wrote a poem that he said we might not have time to hear today, but I wrote when I was in seventh grade. Look at a grain of sand. That's me, individual, trying to be sane. And I talk about, as the tide slows rolling out, I'm pulled apart, turned inside out. Take a breath, count to 3, dive for your place under the sea. And it was actually, it makes me emotional now, especially because
that's okay. Allow it.
I felt
into
very,
it.
very suicidal at the time because I felt so alone and not heard. And because of the movement, we talk about that later. I meet people all the time where we're constantly interrupting their lives in such a way of positivity to allow them to know what's important to them. Yeah. So it's obviously really touching to me, especially being here today.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Beautiful reflection. Really appreciate it for sure.
Yeah. Before we move on, I just want to say too, like the fact that your voice helps other people find their voice. So the fact that you spoke up and you're doing all that you're doing, it's so thank you so much for that.
And much gratitude for the fact that you never gave up. You knew that within you there was this voice, and that somehow in the future it would become very, very powerful. And that is the energy you carry right now. So give yourself the biggest hug, the biggest squeeze. We love you. We're grateful.
If I would have known, I would have brought a cowbell. My daughter's married to a farmer, and when they got married, we all had orange cowbells. So I have a
little. Okay, Austin, Andrea has to be back on, and she has to bring that cowbell, or she's not allowed on.
Well, we've already talked about that because
I actually have a question for. Is that okay if I ask her a question, Austin? When I was doing the research on you, Austin's actually mentioned some of it already, but it's this is what stuck out in my mind that kind of summed you up. You mentioned that you manifest dreams bigger than you dared to dream possible. So for your clients, you manifest their dreams bigger than they ever dared to dream possible. So how do you help your clients create their right message?
It's really exciting when I meet somebody, or like when I was talking, I'll give Austin as an example. When we met before, we only got to talk a surface level, but when we talked over this time, I've gotten to know him more and learned about Flashpoint and that idea of, and so my mind automatically starts mind mapping different ways to show off Flashpoint. Like for Austin, I have like this whole idea of publicity planned in my head for you, that involves flash paper, like the magic of flash paper, so that people can see the spark that happens, what I heard you say, Flashpoint, I just get like these interesting visions. I don't even know that they're mine. Maybe they're mine. Maybe they're a download. Maybe I'm reading your subconscious. I don't know what it is. But then I all of a sudden see not just this linear spot, but I see the possibilities of what else it could be and how people can show up and share their stories, because a flashpoint could be a punch to the face, a car accident, a near death. It could be getting an A instead of a B. It could be the opposite, getting an F instead of a D. Positive and negative things create this like firing in our brains of this neuroplasticity that waken up something that all of a sudden we have a vision that we didn't know we had. And then I start, for me, I'm like, oh, what else could be added to this to make this supplemental? How could you do retreats? How can you go on different countries? How can you expand upon this? How do you bring in children? How do you bring in the disabled? My brain doesn't stop. Hence the reason I have so many degrees is I constantly am going to learn more, because I know that the more that I learn that I don't know, the more I want to know. And so I bring all that wealth of information to you or to my client to find out what can we do to expand upon that so that they can have everything that they desire. Why do we have limits for ourselves? I mean, every rule that's ever been written is someone's idea. And to me, I'm always looking for the loopholes to get through them and around them to make it even bigger.
Yeah. So
That's
great.
beautiful.
I want to acknowledge our audience. I want you to type in the word expand. If you're on YouTube,
Yes.
Facebook, just type it in. If you're ready to expand and you know it's time for you to expand, and this is moving you, just type in the word expand. And it's just you, it's just a declaration. You're just putting it out there. I want to expand. Just type in the word expand. So that's a beautiful. You're getting me excited over here. I'm like, whoa.
Well, and you can see like there's something happens like I just like blah explode
Yes.
for me. I'm like, it's funny because if you can see my arms, they're like I'm taking up this whole makeup room. This is my mom's makeup boutique. I'm taking up the whole room here because I get so excited about it, and it's like I almost trip over my words because the
Mhm.
information and ideas that come to me, and I just want to act on them and create it. I mean, it's just exciting.
It's very
It's very
exciting.
exciting. Thank you.
Same thing happens to me at night, middle of the night. I'll wake up with inspiration and put the light on and write it all down in the notebook and then go back to sleep.
Ooh, yeah, quite good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I know we have the keep smiling movement. Do you want us to highlight that? Because I have that.
Oh, always. That's the love of my life. I consider it my love child. It's a movement. It's 501c3, and it was originally 7.5 years ago. A gentleman, Barry Shore, had these cards that said "Keep smiling." Oh, I have them out of my reach now that I'm so far away from my computer. And he would pass out these cards that said "Keep smiling" to people. And then Dr. Ken Rashawn, he's known as Dr. Smiley, he met Barry shortly after Ken and I met. And he realized he's a photographer, and he thought, wow, if I took pictures of people with these cards, we could create a viral movement. We can make this digital because, Facebook and all these other platforms are out there and coming out all the time. And he then came to me and said, Andrea, I made a book of people with these cards. What else can I do with it? And I said, well, let's add stories of the people. Let's do more. And I kept saying, we need to make this a nonprofit. We need to make this a nonprofit. So finally, I just said, guys, I'm going to make it a nonprofit because they were busy and no one was hearing my vision. And they all said, great, go for it. So I created the 501c3. So we are now the keepsmilingmovement.org. And our mission is we save lives with smiles by creating a dose of hope to be resilient no matter the challenge.
Oh,
So
sweet
let's do
dose of
this.
hope, no matter the challenge.
Why don't we just pause right now and we're going to smile? And if you're watching, and I'm not the best smiler, I kind of laugh, but let's do our best and put on a smile, and maybe somebody can screenshot it. And if you're watching, I want you to put a smile on, even if you're like, let's do it. You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
And again. Done.
You make me smile.
There we go. So
awesome. Woo!
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Within that,
I'm just gonna reiterate that.
Yes.
Dose of hope, no matter the challenge. Doesn't that just make you feel bubbled up with energy and so much to give out to the community, which is what you're already doing? I love that phrase. Love that phrase.
Yes, because think about the word dose, what we associate dose with, right? It's typically associated with you got to take a dose of this medicine. How about a dose of hope?
Hope.
Right? So that makes great sense. And so the keepsmilingmovement.org, scrolling at the bottom. And I want to thank you, Dr. Andrea, for inviting me. I'm going to be a part of this now. I'm going to be submitting my story, how my smile got taken away, and then how it returned through my story. I will be submitting that in the next few days.
Awesome.
And I'm eager to be a part of the project. So thank you for that.
And by the way,
congratulations.
Dose and hope are both acronyms. So dose is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. When you smile, you actually elicit a trigger response that releases the neurotransmitters. Now, and we also want to be very open with that we know that a smile is a Band-Aid to help you feel a little bit better in the moment, especially if you're really depressed or sad or got something going on. And we also recognize that you might need intervention when you have a chemical imbalance of those neurotransmitters, just like if you had diabetes and you need insulin, you might need to regulate that. And at the same time, when you do smile, that little bit of a Band-Aid starts the healing process until sometimes you find that like you might be in the worst situation ever and then find a reason to smile and laugh and to find positivity in the most crazy, chaotic situations. And it helps you really push through. It's been so instrumental to us. And then HOPE stands for Hold On, Pain Ends. And I had a lot of trauma in the last 2 years. And so I've actually kind of modified that. I've been telling people, hold on, pain eases. And eventually it'll get to a point where it feels like it's done. You'll have a flashback memory now and again.
Yes.
You won't be living it anymore. And people know that they have that hope that it will ease up and eventually stop. It helps.
That is such a valuable perspective, adding on to that, because you're speaking to a lot of people going, what do you mean? My pain's not, you don't know what happened to me. So the fact that you say eases, I think that really, relates and makes sense that my pain, it can ease over time, and having lived it yourself, it's such a great thing.
It also softens it because, that's the first thing people feel is the pain. But when you say that word ease, it almost takes the electrical charge from the pain into possibility. That's how it comes across to me.
Beautiful, Mandy. This is great. Now we have another special guest that we're going to bring on here in a moment. But before we do, Dr. Andrea, I just want to say, is there anything else you want to share to round out what we're talking about now?
Oh, yeah, I would, because I talked about having people's voices be important and to be heard. If they visit me at theredcarpetconnection.com, theredcarpetconnection.com. If they reach out to me, they either send me a text or a direct message or get a hold of me on social media or email me. I'll invite them to a free 8-day webinar that shows you how to do publicity for yourself and how to get things going and started. And how to work with a publicist should they desire to do that. Because I believe everybody has a powerful message, and I want to give people that platform to be heard.
Did you say 8-day?
8-day seminar free.
Every day there's a whole, I give you the whole farm, and literally I live on a 50-acre farm. So I give you the farm and show you and map out what you need to have ready so that you can really get yourself out there, because we don't always know what we need. Mm-hmm.
So that's at the bottom of the screen. It's scrolling there if you want to check that out. The redcarpetconnection.com is there. You're free to go to that site. And we'll drop it in the chat later. So thank you. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate this. Mandy, is there anything you want to add before we bring on our next guest?
I just want to know how you came up with all those beautiful names for your children. And I hope I'm saying them right. Destiny, Devoni, and Demaya.
Oh, those are their middle names, and they go by their middle names. So it's Andrea Destiny. She's named after me, but a different phonetic. And then Amelia Devony. A Destiny, she's named after Clash of the Titans. Find and fulfill your destiny.
Oh, love it.
Devony, her name came. It was her name was written in a book at a theme park, and I didn't go on the rides because I wasn't feeling good. And it was a good thing I didn't go on the rides and didn't feel good because I was pregnant and didn't know it, and found her name. And then Demaya, my husband made her name up. So it's Avonlea Demaya. And he knew I wanted a D name. My dad's name is Alfred Daniel, and there is no boy, so no Benavides to carry on my maiden name. So we did deconstruction so that he would have something to be remembered. So
the legacy again. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm in awe.
Thank you for sharing my daughters. They're beautiful.
I loved them. It made me think of my own three, right? That I have three. So Sabrina Alexandra, Catriona Victoria, and Georgina Elizabeth. All royal names, but beautiful. And I saw these and I thought,
Yeah,
Sorry?
those are
Yeah.
beautiful names. Beautiful names.
Thank you. Yeah.
So before we
This
bring
is
in our guest,
awesome.
thank you. We still got a lot to cover, and I'm so glad this has been great so far. And if you're with us, share some love here. I mean, we're vulnerable. We share our hearts on here because it's what reaches you. We want to reach you where you are. So I'm going to grab some of the shares in the comments here. Jenna said, I like hold on, pain eases because it doesn't always end or doesn't feel like it's going to end. So there you go. Mama Mo, one of our ACT community members, her his name is Hope. So Mama Mo, did this shed a whole nother acronym or did you already know that? So this is interesting. I really love that. And Jenna's saying you have great energy, which is great. And we have some folks type in the word expand. Let's see what else. Oh, we love the pool too. We love the pool. The pool.
So there's three of us coming.
Yep. And of course, it's always a cowbell moment.
Yes.
So we love that. So
yes.
Thanks so much. So good. So good so far. So great so far. All right. So we're going to bring on our next guest. And I love when people interact. So we're going to all stay on here and we're going to see what kind of bubbles up. So our next guest is actually, this is so fitting. Duchess DJ Love, isn't it?
Yeah.
Duchess DJ Love. And I met this amazing woman at the Eckhart Tolle event in Phoenix, Arizona. I was attending there because like we do, the more we pour into our cups, the more we can pour out to others. And went out there to grow, to be present. And that this woman approached me and I told her about a couple of the books we wrote. I told her about Flashpoint. She was like, oh my goodness. And now not only is she loving what we're doing, she actually is going to be in Philadelphia. She's from Texas. She's going to be in Philadelphia on October 7th through the 9th when we do the Flashpoint Live 4.0. I'll let her tell you that. But what I love, you're going to see her energy. Like she's a travel vlogger and you're going to absolutely love what she's doing. And so I think she just makes people happy and she really stands for love. So help us welcome Duchess DJ Love.
Yay.
You are live.
Hi, Duchess.
Uh-oh. Can she hear us?
Doesn't look like it.
Uh-oh. You are live. We can't hear you, but we will work it out. I promise you. And you look fabulous.
Yeah, she does.
So we do navigate through technology. Let's give it another try.
Maybe she's muted herself and doesn't realize it. Maybe. Sometimes that happens.
She's like, I can't tell.
Okay, well, look, your phone, you may be, oh, you know what? There we go. You gotcha. Testing 1, 2, 3. No?
No.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I want you to log out of your phone and just refresh and come back in, and then I'll re-add you.
That's usually what happens. It's and I love that you guys also are so flexible and adaptable because that's what we have to be. We have to be resilient no matter the challenge.
No matter the challenge. Yes.
So
and sometimes
Duchess,
we have to wait on love.
log out and log back in. So just X out completely and go back in as if you're starting fresh.
I'll write her in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I had to do that a few times. Literally shut everything down.
Yeah, so
and refresh.
I'm going to remove her. So Mandy, I got an idea.
Yes.
While we have this couple minutes, maybe you could read the poem.
I had a feeling you were going to ask me that just because I shut everything down.
When I mentioned it, I thought I felt it coming in.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. Hang on. Let me just bring it back up. By the time I've got it back up, it'll probably be gone. You'll probably be back on.
That's okay. And by the way, if you got an insight today, I would love for you to type that in. Like, was it the word hope, the acronym, hold on, pain ends, or hold on, pain eases? Was it dose of hope, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and
endorphins?
Endorphins. Okay. So what has come across for you today?
Yeah, I can't bring it back up. Sorry, I can't bring it back up.
While we're waiting for her to find that poem, when I wrote my By the way, I actually have 3 dissertations. It's kind of hysterical. So when I wrote my one for the entrepreneurship, I actually have 3 dissertations. It's kind of hysterical. Oh, I can hear myself now and repeat.
No, you're good. We're good. Go for it.
I'm like, ooh, listen to that. I have double the voice.
Double the power.
I literally went through my life because it's on the study of entrepreneurology, and it's I used literally a flashpoint for each time in my life that my education changed to allow me to see what the success and failures were of business. So when you mentioned the light bulb and Edison, I thought about that too. For him, there was a flashpoint for each time he made a modification to that light bulb, and his literally was a flashpoint with a light bulb.
Yeah.
Oh, now we can't hear Austin.
Now we can't hear Austin.
That's how you can. We're good. All right, everyone.
The magic of technology.
So I think we're gonna give Duchess DJ another shot here. Let's see. Are you all right? Here we go. I'm gonna add Miss Duchess DJ Love.
Well, hello guys. Can you hear me?
Yes! Woo!
Made it.
Hurrah!
So good. So good. So first of all, I want to welcome you to the show for the first time. There's a lot of firsts happening here today, and every moment is dynamic, right? It's constantly unfolding, and it's happening right now live. So first of all, I want to welcome you, and I know you were listening to the first half. So before we get into learn a little bit about you, what do you think so far about learning about Dr. Andrea?
I love Dr. Andrea, and I think our stories have so much in common. First of all, I'm an only child too. I love the pool. I'm at my parents' on the ranch right now, so I'm not home, no makeup. So, and Austin's like, come on the show. I'm like, okay, I don't have all my equipment. So this is one of these things you just get to live and experience and just be proud that you get to enjoy it. And I love your story. And I like the fact that you're helping people, sharing smiles with someone. You don't know if you give someone a smile, what they're going through that day, how it's going to change their world. And my thing is when I travel, travel for a lot of people enjoy traveling, but life is tough. And so, especially when they're not used to it. And right now we have delays, there's cancellations, there's all kind of issues with especially flying. However, it doesn't faze me. I actually kind of enjoy it. So I say, why not share some love with the people traveling, talk to them, help them out, share my knowledge of travel, how to get around these obstacles that they're dealing with. And I find it just by talking to people, they love it. It makes them feel better. And to me, it's the magical encounters that I experience on my travels that makes it worthwhile, makes it great. And someone was saying, well, why don't you share them with people? Start sharing these stories, because I do have a lot of magical encounters. So I thought, okay, why not? I have a great job. So it's like, how do we make time for everything? And so with Austin, he's taught me just take a moment for you every day. And because I have a busy book life. I mean, it's daily things from early morning to late at night. So I love when I can sleep in. So thank you guys for having me on. And Dr. Andrea, thank you so much for what you do with people smiling and trying to make their life so much better. That's very important.
Beautiful. Oh, what a great reflection.
Can you feel her energy?
The energy. Yes.
Really great.
Off the
you can feel the
charts.
love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I say my accent is my trademark. You may remember anything.
Touche.
Branding right there. Absolutely. Well, I want to say this is really what interested me. And then I want to hear from Mandy and Dr. Andrea here too. I love the fact that you went out there and you're doing the travel and you're brightening up people's lives and giving them an experience and you exude from the heart. But I love the fact how you got your job. They just embrace this. They're like, tell us about your travel. You know how it's kind of separate church and state, which I did in my journey for a long time. I was like, I can't mix these two, but they love you so much that they just embrace it and they've invited you to share it. I just love that.
I work with a great bunch of people, so it's going to be hard to let as I call it, my day job go. But when there's bigger and better things out there for you, you just cannot stay in the content stage. And it's a little scary, but at the same time, I feel like I have a purpose and I want to share it because I've already seen, I just started my social media on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, for good luck. I believe in lucky things. You kind of make your luck happen. There's magic around you. If you don't be ready to absorb it, you will miss out.
Magical encounters.
I'm like, okay, I got to launch my gallivanting like a royal Duchess DJ Love somehow. So I chose March 17th. And so far it's doing okay. I'm actually surprised that the followers and friends that I have and that are interested in my travels and are interested in reading the travel blogs that I post. So it's amazing how this is growing. And I just enjoyed reaching people and them commenting. I enjoyed them more telling me what they like or what they want to see or how it helps them.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well,
Dr. Andrea.
we have keep smiling cards in 27 different languages. So we'd be happy for you to have them with you in all of your travels.
Oh, I love that, especially pass them out in the airport. Oh, yes.
How about that?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, Duchess, I have a question. I want to know your favorite place that you've ever been and why it was your favorite place.
I guess I would have to say Yellowstone National Park. And I could go there over and over and over again. And I try to.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I try to go to the different seasons, but I really like early spring and late fall because I like the wildlife. I don't like being around a lot of people. So, I mean, I don't mean by that being a mean, but what I'm saying is I like to go experience places where it's just me so I can talk to nature because there's other people there, like those vibes go away. I want to experience the animal wildlife, as I call it. And I've been known as Little Animal Whisper because animals will come up to me and they'll just stand still for long enough for me to get a picture and then they're gone. So I get phenomenal photos of wildlife just because I don't know if it's my energy, my presence, or the fact that I'm aware or what, but animals just seem to come to me and they strike a pose and then they're gone in a flash, like Flashpoint.
There you go.
There you go. Flashpoint.
So, great question. Great question.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Mandy.
Beautiful. Yeah. I was just, honestly, the synchronicities between all of us here today are the four perfect people to exude all this about life and breakthroughs and helping other people and inspiring. Just last week, I was sat in an insurance office. This little puppy comes walking up to me and I start petting it, ran off, came back. And before long, I'd got it on my lap and I was talking to it. The owner who owned the insurance company comes out of her office and she says, "How did you do that?" I said, "What?" She says, "She won't go to anybody." And she says, "She's just loving your arms." Animals can feel it just as well as human beings can. Yeah. And they have so much to teach us. And the fact that all four of us do this in nature and love to be out there, you know, embracing it and just giving it all back out is, I'm just so excited and happy to be here today. It's awesome.
Yeah, so good. Lots of great things unfolding here today, and so we're glad that you're here today. And I'll just give a final word from everyone, and then we have time. Mandy usually does at least some kind of a recap on today.
Some kind of a recap today.
Yeah, because we want to.
Okay.
Sometimes things happen and they're so fast, right? It's like the sand flips through so quick. We may forget it. So we do our best to kind of recap some of the highlights. So maybe just a final word as we round out and we get into our closing sequence for today's show. It's been amazing so far. So why don't we start with Dr. Andrea?
Okay, so I want people to remember the ABCs for your life and for who you are, how you want to show up with your voice. So show up with authority. Authority is how you speak, how other people know about how you stand and the things that are important to you, that you stand in them so that you have that presence. Believability, so that you mean what you say and say what you mean. And then credibility, so that you have the knowledge, the information, the wisdom, the experience, the education, and let other people know about those things. It's only bragging if you do it in such a way that's icky or ooh. But if you're sharing actual knowledge and information with people, just like Duchess DJ Love, she said she shares her knowledge of travel and so forth. And just like Austin and Mandy are sharing their information, we celebrated Mandy. We didn't think, oh, Mandy's bragging. We were like, please brag more. If that's bragging, bring it on, because how exciting to hear the celebration of her experience and her making history. So show that authority, believability, and credibility, and always keep smiling, hashtag keep smiling, and hashtag living red. Live with relevance, enthusiasm, and delivery, and you'll hit your target market every time. So thank you.
Say the red one more time, because I think this is worth it.
Relevance and enthusiasm, delivery.
Enthusiasm, and delivery, and you'll hit your target market every time.
Great.
I got
Great value. Type in the chat.
Yeah.
Please.
I'll write it in here too for you guys. No,
Type in value in the chat. The
So
word value.
Keep
Yep.
smiling, relevance, enthusiasm, delivery to hit the target market every time.
And I put our hashtags. Our hashtags are living red and hashtag keep smiling, and that'll bring more people to your YouTube over time.
Great. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Great gem. Great gem.
Duchess DJ Love, final word.
Just like to let everybody know that I've traveled all 50 states of the United States in detail and in depth. So I have extensive knowledge of any place you may want to go. Sometimes I take pictures and sometimes I just go for the experience, but I can fill you in on what to see, what I thought was valuable, and what you might get out of it and where you should go based on your likes.
And so where would you want people to connect with you? Like, is it Instagram or where would you?
Instagram or Facebook. Yeah, either one.
And how would they find you?
On Instagram, it's Duchess DJ Love, all one word. Facebook, Duchess DJ space Love. And connect with me. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear where you would like to know something about or my experience. Be happy to share.
Yep. And I'd love to. Have you ever been to Philadelphia?
I have.
All right. Well, you're about to come again. So
first time for me.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Mandy, I'm going to turn it over to you for the recap. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to put the link in because we have the Flashpoint documentary premiere on June 14th at 8:15 p.m. I'm going to drop that link. We have about 6 minutes. Mandy.
Go for it. Well, I'm just going to get in as well. It's my grandson, David Vincenzo Midolo's birthday today. He's 13 and Grandma says, happy birthday. Woo!
Awesome.
He'll be in school, but I'll get him to see this afterwards. Back to the recap. So we started off with the hourglass, and we're always reminded that life is unfolding before us and how we have a past, a present, and a future. Everything is in the present, and we can affect our future by bringing our wisdom from the past into each moment. We talked about Dr. Andrea. She comes from Findlay, Ohio. She loves being at home. She also loves traveling. She grew up as an only child, felt that she wasn't heard, and didn't begin her public speaking till the age of 16. And it came to be known as I Know My Worth. And when we know our own worth, then that is how we are able to help others to be heard and seen and know and value their worth as well. So you went from not feeling worthy to feeling empowered and ultimately worthy, and your story took off from there. Staying strong is also being on a roller coaster. And I love that analogy because life isn't all, oh, this is great, this is awesome, but it's how we get through the chaos, and it's with a smile. I loved your poem, Look at a Grain of Sand, Me Trying to Be Sane. You were even suicidal at one point. This is a colossal breakthrough, turnaround, flashpoint. The right message at surface level. You were talking with Austin, you met him, you talked about Flashpoint and how it would work. Then I asked you the question of how you would help other people, and you said it's your vision to help them to see the endless possibilities in sharing their stories, the wide possibility of even the negative and the positive range of possibilities to help us with our breakthrough. Always questioning, and you're just like the rest of us. The more I learn, the more I don't know and want to know, because that's how we help each other. And if it helped, every rule was somebody's idea. So there's nothing new under the sun is the other phrase. I love your program, keepsmilingmovement.org. Your love child, you called it, 501c3, came on board 7.5 years ago with Barry Shaw, who had these smiling cards, and it carried on into being added to people's stories. You came up with the acronym Dose of Hope no matter the challenge. It's about being flexible and waiting on love. So D for dopamine, O for oxytocin, S for serotonin, and E for endorphins. So dose. So it's a dose of hope. What did hope stand for? Hold on to pain. Holding on to the pain eases. So hold on, pain eases. HOPE. It takes the electric shock out of pain to know that pain will ease. It softens the blow. Pain into possibility. Love that. Love that. And then we talked about the red carpet connection, this beautiful free 8-day webinar that you're offering. Can't wait to join you on that. Loved your daughters' names, and I'm so happy we were able to acknowledge them. Thank you so much for all of that, Dr. Andrea. Absolute privilege and honor to have you here. Duchess DJ, first time too. And again, we all have similar stories. We're all going to head to Dr. Andrea's house so that we can share the pool and share the inspiration. You live the experience, Duchess. You live your experience, proud to enjoy and share with everybody, even if life is tough. You got into issues that people are having with flights and delays, and how can I make these people enjoy it and help them to navigate their travel problems? What a neat, ingenious idea to sit there going through chaos and again reaching out to help other people. So now it's become this huge following. You take a moment for yourself each day, feel the love, your voice, people radiate to your voice. That happens to me. I keep being asked to read the telephone directory. They just want to hear the voice. It's awesome. Austin, you spoke about how this experience of DJ exudes from her heart. Again, heart-centered, beautiful people telling us about her job, how she's loved, how she's embraced it. DJ, you said this was beautiful. Don't stay in the content state. Don't be content to get stuck, right? Yes, it's scary, but don't be afraid. Travelers, you enjoy others' feedback, or was this Dr. Andrea? Pass the cards that you can pass Dr. Andrea's smile cards as you're out and about on your travel. Your favorite place? That was a great question. Favorite place? Yellowstone National Park. You love it in the early spring and the fall because of the wildlife and the connection to nature. Almost there. You've become an animal whisperer, and then we got into final closing. But that's a basic summarization.
Mandy, great job on the recap.
Thank you.
So good. So we're right at 1 o'clock. I want to thank you, the listener, for joining us today, whether you're live, playback, wherever you find this, wherever this reaches you. We have a premiere of the Flashpoint documentary, June 14th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the chat, and you can reach out to us and connect for more. We definitely want, there's an opt-in there. It's a private screening, if you will. So you got to opt in for that. It's very simple to opt in. It's just name, email, and you'll get the Zoom info.
It's a must see. Believe me, it's a must see.
Yep. And we'll share more in the upcoming weeks. But thank you so much to Dr. Andrea.
Thank you, Dr. Andrea. DJ,
have a fantastic weekend,
Austin.
Everyone. And we'll see you
Love
next
and
week.
hugs, everyone.
TV.
Thank you
hugs.
for being here. Love and hugs. Bye.